Yeah, we're here. Now go fishing.
After a short drive over to Nottingham, it looks like I'm not the only one that's excited. You're back at Trent View. I arrived at the fishery at about 7:20, shortly after Charlotte opened the gate, and I made my way up to the lodge, pay for me ticket. Because you can drive around the lake in your car, I've done a couple of laps, but jumped out in between and stood out in the rain for 10 to 15 minutes, see if I could see any carp show. Now I think just out of the corner of my eye, I saw one showing peg 45. So I grabbed the bait boat in the deeper and ran it through the swim. And sure enough, yes, there's a shoal of fish. They might be carp. Looking at the size of them, surely they've got to be. Okay, so I found some on the spot marked there. I turned the boat round and brought it back. But because I was standing out in the rain, all of my hoodie got absolutely soaked. And there's one thing I can't do with is a soaking wet hood. So decided to dry it out on my stove before I get ready and start the session. And hopefully, while I'm drying this out, it'll stop bloody raining. Oh yes, looking a lot better. Another couple of minutes and then we'll be nice and dry. That's better. Nice and dry again. Crack on. My hoodie might be dry, but my fleece coat still soaked. Right then, now I'm all dried off. Hi there, my name's Lee and welcome to Bedtime Stories, Carp Adventures. Over the last couple of months, all through the winter, I've been fishing down at Ripley Reservoir and I've been really successful on quite a few of the sessions that I've had. So I've come back out to Trent View Fishery. I was here through the winter and sadly on that session I blanked. I don't know what I did wrong. I thought I was in the right place. Maybe I was using the wrong tactics, I don't know. So, back again, try catch one of these elusive carp from Trent View. Give you a little bit of information about the fishery. Well, the lake itself is about 28 acres. It holds carp up to 40 pound plus. They are backed up by probably 90 to 100 different 30s, and there's an estimated to 1,000 carp over the 20 pound mark. So in with a very good chance of catching. It's coming up to, where are we on the date? It's the 11th or the 12th of March now. So coming into spring pretty soon and the carp are waking up. So hope that something happens through this session anyway, because it might be a difficult one again. These fisheries are tricky. With a break in the weather, I've sent the bait boat back out to the area where I saw the carp showing on the deeper, but this time there's a rig in the hopper. Before I've dropped the rig, I put the line in the line clip on the reel and marked it up with some bright marker braid, and then as long as I'm sending the boat in the right direction, when I get to the marker braid, this is when I need to release the hopper and the rig will be in the right spot each time. If you happen to come down to Trent View and you fish this peg, it's 19 1/4 wraps. So come back into my bevy and I'm going to get 2 PVA solid bags tied up for the right and middle rod. I start off by placing a small amount of pallets in the bag and then the rig after, topping it up slowly, little and often each time, adjusting the lead upwards, making sure that the rig stays at the bottom of the bag, giving it a gentle tap, adding some more pallets in, topping it up, another little shake, making sure that the rig's lined up, and a quick push, pressing all of the bag down nice and tight. Add the last little bit of pallets, topping it up. Make sure that you don't go overboard with it. You won't be able to tie the PVA string around after. Give it one last final compress, then you're ready for put the PVA string around. The amount of times you wrap the PVA string around can vary. I like to go around at least 4 to 5 times. That way I know that the PVA bag isn't going to come off when I cast it out. Trim down the tag ends to the PVA string and then tidy up the top of the PVA bag. Make sure that you don't cut the leader though, that'd be bad. At this point you're nearly done. Just remember, compress the bag down a little bit more in the corners, fold over the edges and lick and stick both of the sides. One last thing do, get your bait needle and just punch a load of little holes in the PVA solid bag. Ollie bag's ready and it's going out in the boat. I've put some boilies in there as well, probably a small handful, and I've crumbed up a handful as well. I do want to make sure that a large amount of the bait gets down to the bottom of the lake. It's 21 foot deep So I'm sending the boat out till it gets to the line clip. When it gets to that point, I'll open the hopper and release the rig. It'd be silly to ignore the carp that was swimming around in the upper layers, so I've got an adjustable zig on the left rod, and that's currently sitting at 6 foot. Just about go dark. But before it goes dark, if you're into kettle porn, here's your fix. Ooh la la. That's enough of that cheeky nonsense. Throughout the day I've been adjusting the zig on the left rod, a couple of foot at a time, but no action so far. I've left it at 8 foot now. Because I know the spot I'm casting to is at 19 1/4 wraps, I've wrapped up to 19 1/4 wraps and just cast the rods out to those spots. It's easier than using the boat. For all the regular Z-heads that have been following the channel, you might have noticed that there's no blur down the side of the screen anymore because I've had it fixed. Shout out to Phonebox for doing it, much appreciated. Anyway, gonna give it a couple of hours and then I'm going to be turning in my sleeping bag, getting some Zeds, because I was up at about 4:15 this morning, we get here at 7, so yeah, be an early night. But before then, yeah, I'll have a bit of supper. Quite a lot of people, anglers, are cooking what I would call gourmet meals on the bank these days for themselves. Me, I've just kept it simple, full pack of ham, and yeah, that'll be my supper. So, you know, I just like grabbing a big chunk like that. And I used to do this all the time in my mum and dad's house, and my mum and dad, oh, they bowl at me all the time. But I do love meat, and ham. It's so tasty. So while I sit stuffing ham in my face, let's see what happens. Oh, well, that's ruined that. Truffle's awake, and yeah, she wants in on the action as well. So, okay, be a good girl. You can have some. There you go. Yum, 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 yum. I'm having a bit of an issue, guys.
This isn't funny. I've just sat on my bed chair and got my bait needle stuck in my left butt cheek. Operation on the butt. Cut that off first. Listen to the snip. That's got that section out. Sticky, ain't we? What a bugger. Let's pull this out.
Stuck right to my ass. Remind me on never to put bait needles on my bed chair ever again. I've had them stuck in my fingers, down my nails, and now this one's the final straw, stuck in my butt. After pulling that through my butt cheek, I think I need a brew. I also need a new bait needle. Just watching the footage back in. Ah dear, that is so funny to watch, but it's not funny when it happens to you. Yeah, made myself that cup of tea. Before I got the bait needle stuck in my backside, I was tying up some fresh solid PVA bags for give the rods a recast. So I've carried on doing that. And just to be a bit different for this solid bag, I've crumbed up some boilies and put them with the pallets. Going into last night, I was feeling really confident that the rods were going to go off. You know, after seeing those carp or whatever they were on the deeper, there was some big visible images showing there, so some of them had to be carp surely. But no action at all. Maybe they're just not hungry, because I'm definitely on them. This is one of the first sessions through winter where it'll actually be warm and dry all day. The temperature's gone up to 10 degrees and it is looking really good for a bite, but I'm still waiting for a run. Truffle's waiting for me catch one too, because she loves seeing the carp on the bank, but I think she's getting a bit fed up. If you've been following the channel, you know that Truffle comes with me on every session I go on. She's kept me really good company through the winter, And as a reward, I always give her lots of treats. But I'm pretty sure if she had her way, she'd eat the entire bag. After she's had her treats, I'm going to dive into that packet of ham again. Just starting rain, just as I was going to recast the rods. The weatherman said it was going to be a dry day today. Looks like he got it wrong. The thing about carp fishing, when you wake up in the morning and you're in a bad mood and you arrive at the lake, carp fishing doesn't judge you. It doesn't care about that. It doesn't care if you got out of bed, put on your scruffy jeans and forgot to comb your hair. To carp fishing, it's not how you look that matters. You don't have to shower carp fishing with gifts to make you feel appreciated. If you only get go carp fishing once or twice a month, it's okay. Carp fishing knows you've got other things to do in life, and it won't mind. Carp fishing will be happy and simply glad that you visited. Brief little chat about bait boats. Some people hate them, some people love them. They're one of them mixed bag opinions. You either like them or you don't. The reason I mention it is because obviously out at Trent View you can use your bait boat, so obviously I brought mine with me, and as you've seen, using the bait boat with the deeper attached to the back has put me on the carp, but time will tell whether I catch one. The other reason I mentioned bait boats was because 2 videos back, if you haven't seen it yet, pop over to the channel and check it out. There was a comment on that video there: would I have caught all of those carp if I wasn't using the bait boat? The reason I was using the bait boat on that particular session was I was fishing all 3 rods really close together within about a 10-foot area, so maybe 3.5 to 4 foot between each rod, and that was the only reason I was using the boat. I think bait boats are a great aid and can help you catch more carp, but there is a time and a place to use them. I see a lot of people using them unnecessarily. They could quite easily cast out into open water. They're not casting at 30 wraps or anything like that. You know, some people are using them at 10 wraps. Now, you could quite easily cast a rod 10 wraps. Bait boats are really good for sneaking close into overhanging trees on far margins or fishing at a distance. Me personally, if I can cast my rods, like I've said in previous videos, that's what I'd prefer to do. On this session, I am actually doing both. I'm casting and using the boat. I'm casting the rods out in the day, it's 19.25 wraps, and then at night, once it's gone dark, to ensure that I'm on the right spot, I am using the boat. About an hour ago, I put the rigs out using the boat, the middle rod and the right rod. And the funny thing is, the carp were still showing up on the deeper on both occasions. So I'm left scratching my head because I don't understand why I haven't been able to nick a bite through the day. Who knows, maybe tonight's the night I have my first carp from Trent View. Lovely cup of hot chocolate. While I'm drinking my hot chocolate, I want to ask you Z-heads a question. How many of you are looking forward to spring, and have you got any fishing trips planned? Where are you going? Are you doing day ticket trips? Are you going to a syndicate lake that you've just joined this year? If so, I'm sure you're pretty excited about that one. Have you got any French trips planned? Are you going to France? Are you going Italy, Belgium, anywhere around the world? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I've got my trip to France planned in April, same as I do every year, and I'm really looking forward to that one. I'm going to call it a night, Z-heads. I'm going to get in my sleeping bag, and I'm going to try and get at least 4 hours kip, because at 6 o'clock I'll be getting up, start again. Been awake since first light this morning, and I've seen a few carp roll directly straight out in front of me swim. So I've quickly recast the zig, and I've got it about a foot and a half underneath the surface. Maybe I can nick a bite off a zig. It's been about an hour since I recast the left rod with the zig on. As I mentioned, I cast it out to some showing carp, and I've got it set a foot just underneath the surface, but so far no action on that rod. On this particular session, I really do believe I'm in a much better location, and I am on the carp. I'm doing all of the right things. I've got a lot of confidence in the tactics and the rigs that I'm using. But carp fishing can be like a game of chess at times. I'm making all of the right moves, but so are the carp. It's a case of waiting until one of them makes a fatal mistake. It's a lovely morning, so I'm just sitting outside the bivvy, watching the water while I drink a cup of tea. And yeah, there's a lot of carp activity out there. Come on, that zig has got to go off. Been a bit of a tricky one on this session, really quiet, but I am determined to catch one of these stunning Trent View carp. I hope you've enjoyed the story. If you have, give us a quick thumbs up. If you haven't, you can kiss my sore. Thanks for watching Bedtime Stories, Carp Adventures.